Hey, Lock 22 Nation, it's your boy, Gobo Moran. With me, as always, James Marbs. And we are just now recovering from our Super Bowl hangovers. So, 3 weeks later. What do you think, man?
What a season. I have a lot of questions, more questions than answers after this season. But it's been a blast. It's been a total blast.
I do like that I feel like the best team won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That is a good feeling. It's definitive. Um, we're going to talk about the game here in depth. That's what we're doing on this episode. Kind of a final recap, little bonus episode, little bridge episode to get you on through until the draft. However, we decide to do that. We're working on a couple of formatting things. Um, so yeah, we would normally talk about some NFL news. I feel like you guys already know every team has their head coach now. We don't know what's going to happen in the draft. We have a couple of guys requesting trades like Myles Garrett. Nobody really knows where he's going to end up. Everything's kind of speculation at this point. So I think we should just talk about,
Let me ask you this.
yeah.
We got this year's draft coming up, and the schedules obviously have been released for next year, so we know who we're playing. We just don't have the exact dates. We know when and we know where and who. We just don't know when. Um, who do you think? I'm just gonna ask you flat out, who do you think gets the first pick of the draft next year after next season?
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Who's just gonna be so bad?
I mean, it's just like we're full speculation at this point. We haven't seen really any of the offseason moves. Um, I mean, I want to say Vegas, but with Pete Carroll and potentially a new quarterback, new offensive system in place, um, I'm guessing the Raiders will probably not come in last place. Um, I mean, it could be. I mean, I'm rocking the Titans jersey because they got the number one overall this year. Everyone's saying it's going to be that edge rusher, but I mean, I think I would not be surprised at all if they either trade the pick or take a quarterback first overall as well. I think there's that possibility. But all right, so let me think. Aaron Rodgers isn't playing for the Jets next year, so it could potentially not be them.
I'll give you mine while you're thinking.
I was like, yeah, you give me yours.
I honestly believe the Cleveland Browns will have the first pick of the draft, just based on what they're talking about doing and what's being requested. Trades of Myles Garrett. I mean, he's all contender for Defensive Player of the Year every year. I think he's won it once. But I feel like that franchise is they're up for another botch of the number one pick, and it's really fucked up, man. It really is. There are other contenders that I've thought of. I certainly thought of the Jets, but that roster is just too good.
Right.
Would be
With the right coach, yeah, with Robert Saleh out of there and with Rodgers and his craziness out of there, I think that the Jets have potential, especially in the same division as the Pats and the Dolphins, who are both kind of either rebuilding or on the downswing of their talent curve. I mean, Buffalo is still rock solid, but um, I think I tend to agree with you that it's going to be Cleveland because I think about it, it's like all of the teams who are bad this year are slated to make a move, at least one move that's going to be relevant. The Browns are not. They don't have salary cap space. They are stuck in that Deshaun Watson contract. And I know that he said that he's willing to restructure his contract to positively impact the salary cap. I don't know if I believe that, and I don't even know if legally he can do that. Um, so I think that yeah, there's gonna have to be some contractual fuckery that happens in Cleveland for them to be any kind of contender this next year. They need so much, and yeah, losing Myles Garrett is not a vibe, especially yeah. And then Nick Chubb was injured all the season. I mean, he's definitely not going to be up to snuff. Like, who else fucking plays for that team?
I mean,
Like David
no,
Njoku?
I thought that he had restructured already, but maybe you're right. Maybe it was just what we were hearing that he's willing to. But even then, Gobo, they're not restructuring him out of it. They're still paying him an F ton of money. And if he's going to be their quarterback, I don't have confidence in that team. So that
100%.
if he's not and he's restructuring, they're still paying him like he is, and they're going to have to pay someone else to come in and do it because I think a lot of those. I mean, they have DTR still, but has he flashed? Not really.
I mean, DTR is a fun story. Like DTR is like Matt Flynn or like Brock Osweiler, like he comes in, wins an important game, everyone feels good. He's got obviously got some talent, and then you put him into a system where other coaches can see him play and can learn his style, and then he's not going to be competitive.
Yeah, I was thinking in my head Kyle Orton. That's
Kyle Orton, another great example.
but here's the thing. They're in a great division. Now let's shift a little bit to Pittsburgh. I feel like this is the first Tomlin season that he will be under 500.
Tomlin's out.
This might be the end for him. They have to make a choice, Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, and we saw what they're capable of with Russell Wilson, and I don't think they're going to get better. He's going to get better than that. I don't see Justin Fields doing that much.
Yeah.
So,
No, Pittsburgh's
yeah.
moving on from Tomlin, man. They already decided.
Did they?
Yeah. They announced. I don't know if they have formally fired him, but he said in a press conference that he
Wow.
was told that they were moving on.
See, this is what happens when you take a break from
I know, that's right.
football. But
Um,
I will tell you, Warren, you swore to me that on opening day of next season that Tomlin would be the coach, and I said I don't see it, but I think
I
Tomlin.
didn't see it coming. I was very surprised when I saw that come across my feed, but like, yeah, I mean, yeah, Pittsburgh's definitely not one to turn their back on a coach. Three coaches in like 40 something years.
Yeah,
So,
it's awesome that they've been able to do that, and
yeah.
I don't feel like they had to reach to do it. Like Tomlin deserved to be there. I mean, arguably next season.
I think so. I don't think he did enough to get fired. I know that the Steelers have really high expectations of their team, as they should. Um, but like, yeah, I don't think any of the
Look at your
issues, like,
jersey. You telling me the Titans wouldn't like to be over 500 for 17 consecutive seasons?
well,
How
I think
many
at
times have
this,
they done that?
I mean, like four since
Yeah.
they moved from Houston. Yeah, I mean, it's like, yeah, Tennessee's in a bad way, but there's so many teams. I mean, like, think about the Jaguars. Think about I mean before the current era, the Detroit Lions, it's just like that kind of consistency is a dream for a lot of teams in this league. I mean, we're
Um,
we're fortunate enough that like our teams, we have had championship runs, we have multiple division championships, we've had a lot of Hall of Fame players. I mean,
yeah.
there's people who literally like the Arizona Cardinals.
It's a couple things I want to discuss. Russell Wilson's one of them. I mean, everybody's like, he's gonna go to the Raiders. He had a huge argument and blowout with Pete Carroll to the point where Pete Carroll just ditched his ass to Denver. Do we really think that's gonna happen? I could see him either re-signing with Pittsburgh or he's gonna want 2 years, 80 million. That's what his market is gonna be. And that's
Mm.
ridiculous. But the Jets are an option. Are they
The
not?
Jets, I mean, the Jets are an option. They need a quarterback. Any team that needs a quarterback should consider Russell Wilson. I
You know
agree.
what? The 49ers.
That would be
Imagine
wild.
Russell Wilson with those weapons, man. Like,
Wow. Well, then you'll know how it felt when I saw Brett Favre wear a Vikings jersey.
right. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the Raiders are not gonna have the first pick of the draft. Pete Carroll will never let that happen. But here's why. They also have a couple of elite players. They have Max Crosby and their tight end, Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers. Yeah,
Great
I
I
would
mean, that guy
recognize it if I
is
heard it. Yeah.
he's the new Travis Kelce. He's elite. Give him a quarterback of any substance, which is what Pete Carroll's kryptonite. I don't know if he's capable of handling the quarterback situation there. But the most interesting thing that I'm thinking of in terms of quarterback is that the Rams are having issues with Matthew Stafford and what they're going to do with that situation. Now, hear me out. Give Aaron Rodgers those weapons. Dude, you may be able to trade Matthew Stafford to someone like the Giants or the Giants they would be, yes, please come here.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
I think the Giants are pretty decided on Shador, but yeah, I don't I mean anything could happen. I mean, is Aaron Rodgers going to be in the NFL next year? I don't particularly think so, but it's totally possible. Russell Wilson will be. He'll either
Don't
be
you
with
think
Pittsburgh or he'll
though,
spend somewhere
if
else.
Sean McVay, a structured organization with amazing weapons at that position, um, called him up and said, "No bullshit, Aaron. We need you here," that he would say no. He has a house in Long Beach.
Well,
Dude,
he's from Berkeley, so yeah, I
yeah.
mean he's a California guy. Um, would Aaron Rodgers love to get that call from the Rams? Absolutely. I don't see it. I think maybe the 49ers. But like to be honest, I kind of even doubt that. I think the 49ers, I mean, it's like that and also like I think the Rams are moving on from Cooper Cup. Um
Yeah, they told him already.
yeah, like and so
But
I mean,
that's how
I don't know if
stacked
that
they
makes
are.
them worse.
That's how stacked they are.
Yeah.
I mean,
I could see I could see if the Raiders draft a quarterback, they're I think they definitely try to make trade for Cup. That's a fun narrative. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is going to end up anywhere. He could end up in Cleveland.
I would take retirement over that.
I
He
cert
doesn't need
well,
money.
I wouldn't say that either because playing one season and never seeing the field, I'd probably make more money than like 10 seasons at my regular job, but um 10 years, I mean. There's no seasons. Um but like yeah, so I would go play for the Browns, but yeah, somebody who doesn't need the money, I don't really think that's I wouldn't say so.
Anyway,
I don't know. But
we
Aaron
got
Rodgers, dude's got an ego. He still thinks he's the best quarterback in the league, which is ridiculous.
so we're a few days outside of March right now,
Hmm.
and football kicks up in August. So a lot of different things are going to happen. Obviously, the draft is going to be a game changer for a lot of teams. And, there's probably going to be some big names traded in the draft. We don't know.
Yeah.
But it's going to be awesome leading up to figure out. But thank you for answering that question. So we're both on the Browns. I think the Browns have a
I
legit.
think realistically, I mean, I think one of the teams that I've like forementioned, like Vegas, Tennessee, Jacksonville, like one of them will make what some of them will make good moves. At least one of them will make bad moves and be in contention for last place again. But yeah, I just like from a statistical standpoint, I think the Browns are the least likely team to be successful next year.
Good to know. And we
All
had
right.
what, 13 teams over 10 wins this year. And Seattle's the only one that didn't make the playoffs out of that group.
I
Ouch.
mean the momentum was definitely pushed a little bit this year.
Ouch.
Um, it was rough. I mean, it was hard when all three, yeah, like three of the four teams from my division went, and then nobody won a game.
Oh, that's
I know, isn't that wild?
that's wild.
I mean, to be honest, we have to play the fucking Eagles, so like, I'm not too super disappointed about it. But Washington knocks off the other two. That's crazy. Um, so speaking of knocking off, um, what's on everybody's mind? It's the big game we all waited for. Best athletes in the world brought together on the same stage, nationally televised. I want to talk about our game MVP a little bit. Foxtrot, the Lassie, um, came out first quarter, immediately gets the rope toy across the end zone for two consecutive touchdowns for Team Rough. Um, yeah, I mean, it was just like at that point. I mean, I don't care how many of the bathing and the water bowl penalties you get, like you're not going to be able to catch up with that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's a dog, man. He's a dog.
This is not a real dog. Be a dog. No, this look, I got to get the right sunglasses. Be a little cat. No, be a dog. Um, So yes, no. Aside from the Puppy Bowl, the Super Bowl, the human football championship, definitely not what I was expecting, and I was tremendously pleased. Um, I wore my Eagles jersey over to my friend's house. Stopped at the liquor store. Like 10 Eagles fans came up to me like, "Oh, what's that new dog? Fly Eagles fly!" And I was just like, "Hell yeah, brother!" Like I just went with it. Yeah, I was like, I don't fucking care. I'm not gonna be like, "Well, I just like jerseys." Um, but you know, this is the thing. We've been saying it all year. It was saying all fucking year that Kansas City was a pretender. And then here they go. They don't get the calls. They actually there was a lot of calls against Kansas City in the first quarter, which I was like that first pass interference. I was like, here we go,
Yep,
here we fucking go.
everybody
I
was.
almost called you. I was like, I can't do this, man. I can't fucking do this again.
Yeah.
And then immediately, then that drive where they sacked Mahomes twice in a row, and then the next play, I saw the two linebackers go up to the edge, looked at Mahomes, listened to what he said, and then backed off, and then they all moved into a bracket, and I'm like, they're gonna throw a pick. I was like, they're playing him like a fucking fiddle, and you watched the three interior linemen didn't even rush. They just stood there and watched Mahomes and gave him enough time to throw the ball, and he fucking threw it to Cooper DeJean, who scored a touchdown like
On his
immediately
birthday, by the way.
on his birthday. I was like,
I think my brother,
I fucking called it. I was like, as soon as they lined up, I'm like, he's throwing a pick.
my brother, massive Hawkeyes fan, he said, I've never screamed that much for a player that's not a Seahawk doing something in a game before. And that was a great, and it's poetic justice that he took it to the house there. Um, dude, here's the thing. It did go how I expected it. I thought 8 weeks ago, I said I'm all in on Philly, and I'm not sitting up here saying, "Oh," I'm just
No,
like
so
they
smart.
fucking finally proved to me that they are who we didn't think they were. Like they're who we didn't think they were.
Yeah.
And once
Um,
I saw that,
we kept him on the hook.
and then you kept hearing things like, "We're focused on the game. I'm not going to take this opportunity to show up my old team that didn't give me money to break a 40-year-old record because I'm that focused on the Super Bowl." One of the most selfless acts, and I can't say it enough. I love watching Saquon Barkley with his family after the game. I mean, he is a true consummate professional and awesome human being. Like that's the guy that you want to go to war with.
He really, really is. I'm a huge Saquon Barkley fan. I was definitely a fan of his like talent wise. I felt really sad that he was drafted by the Giants, but I was like, you know what, he'll find a way to overcome. When he got traded to the Eagles, and I saw them on the schedule on the first week of the season, I was like, well, shit. Because yeah, the dude has the right stuff. I mean, he's up there. I think he's going to be up there when this is all said and done. He's going to be up there with the greats: Dickerson, Walter Payton, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, like Terrell Davis. Like that's the kind of quality running back that the Eagles have right now.
Yeah, he's in his prime. Is he gonna get eclipse Dickerson next year? Well, he's got the Super Bowl, so I hope that if he's provided the opportunity to do it again, that he does it. Because it's been 40 years, man. That's a huge record. And to be able to touch that stone twice, I think if he gets another chance, he'll be like, somebody's going to be like, no.
If
Go
he
out.
stays healthy, and that's the thing too, the Eagles are only getting better.
Yeah.
Um, at this point, their contractual situations are all rock solid. They don't have a need for anybody. So that means anybody that they draft can either be a developmental player or they can trade their picks for like a proven starter. They can clear cap space to pay their players more money. There's like, if I'm a GM right now and I'm in Philly, like I'm fucking breakdancing in my office every day because it's like, there's no wrong moves.
Dude, and
Unless you try trade Saquon.
whatever issues that they had between coaches and players, and they locked that shit down and they kept it in-house and they maneuvered it, whatever it is. And winning does a lot to, mend those types of relationships. Now, 40 to 22, that's an ass whooping. And that's a three.
It was worse than that.
It
I mean,
was much
it
worse
was
than that.
34-7 at one point.
And I kind of want to talk about Kansas City right now because, and this is the question that I wanted to pitch to you. What's Kansas City do at quarterback next year?
Oh,
Re- Dude, and I have to say it. I have to say it because here, um, clearly not the player that he once was. Numbers wise, and here's what happened. They put pressure on him. They got to him. This is the worst quarterback performance in 30 years from a quarterback in the Super Bowl. Mahomes. Give me another one. Yeah, I know.
Pey- Peyton Manning against the Seahawks
I mean, not even as bad. It's not even as bad.
was. I mean, he didn't turn it over as many times.
Didn't turn it over three times. I mean, that was just the defense was on everybody. This was single-handedly Patrick Mahomes blowing it. He blew it in every way you can possibly blow it. There's one player that was worse, and I wish we could show film on this show. Travis Kelce is done. He is done. He was responsible for at least three of the sacks on Patrick Mahomes. Didn't even touch the guy. But the worst part about his game, there's two other things worse than his blocking. The first one is they would snap the ball, the offensive line is up and going, he's still in his stance for another second. I mean, dude, you can go watch the footage. He's in his stance for an extra
Yeah,
two counts. Like hut hut hut. If that's your
yeah.
count, there an extra.
I just watched a little video of focusing on Travis Kelce during the Super Bowl, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then the other one, as while the game is being played and blocks are being made, Mahomes is scrambling looking for somebody. He's standing there with his hands completely at his side, just
Right,
standing,
right.
not running,
You
not
could
trying
even
to get
see a
open.
linebacker from Philly went and squared up with him and then was like trying to cover him. And then he's like, and then he looks confused. He's like, wait, what are you doing? You're not running a route?
He's done, dude.
Yeah. And then that, I remember the exact play you're talking about. And he's kind of standing there just like, ugh, like just totally disheartened.
Well, he
And then
kind of
Mahomes
shrugs. He's like, "What are you
fumbles.
doing?"
Yeah.
Like, and
Mahomes
one of
fumbled
those
when he got
running.
hit and like he didn't go for the ball. He just stood there.
Yeah,
He's
I
just like,
haven't seen
I don't give a
something
shit.
that bad since Cam Newton did it.
Right. And that
I,
was the end of Cam Newton.
yeah, and I feel
He was,
like
yeah, and Cam Newton won the MVP that year.
why would Kelsey come back for another year? Why? He doesn't need money. He's already a first ballot Hall of Famer. If that's the effort you're going to give,
Right.
thank you. I'll take
Like,
a
yeah,
rookie.
you're dating the biggest pop star on the planet. You got multiple TV offers. Like, yeah, you can make money doing something else. You're obviously gonna like have a reality show or be some fucking commentator or some shit. Or you could marry your girlfriend who's a fucking literal billionaire. So like, yeah, you don't need to keep doing this if you don't want to do it, man. Like there are other tight ends who will make those blocks and will dive
Dude,
for
if
those
that's
balls.
your effort, I'll take a rookie.
No,
Seriously.
for real. I'm like, bring up a guy who's been struggling in NFL Canada or something and give him a shot.
But yeah,
'Cause, yeah, your talent doesn't make up for absolute piss poor effort. Um,
obviously Mahomes is going to be in Kansas City, but I feel like I
I was
know
like, I mean,
that
you know
question
the
out
answer to
there.
that. Like, they're even if they wanted to move on, which they absolutely don't, because like, he has the stats to back it up. But um, even if they wanted to get rid of him, like that contract is, I mean, it's outrageous.
Did they get ended? Did this dynasty get ended in the
I'd
Super?
like to think so. I kind of doubt it, though. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. Denver's on the rise. Chargers are on the rise.
They're all on the rise.
They got it. They got new coaching staff. They're gonna have a new quarterback this year in Vegas, and that's just their division. That's not talking about how good is Buffalo going to be next year. How good is Baltimore going to be next year? Like, there's a lot of what ifs for the AFC, especially since the Chiefs going in. I didn't think we're gonna keep pace with everybody.
Yeah, I mean,
Welcome. We'll see. Well, I mean, we'll
well,
see.
now I'm sitting here, I have all these questions. Like, and now Mahomes has lost the Super Bowl three times,
Twice.
twice.
Yeah, he
Okay,
won. He's won three, lost two. Um, the other one he lost was to Tom Brady.
okay. So now you have. Is he in the conversation for the GOAT anymore?
I
If he
would
ever
say,
gets back there,
I mean, okay, so Brady won six and lost three. Is that right?
I thought they won seven.
He might have won. He might have won seven.
The one with Tampa was seven because it's six in New England.
Right. And then he lost two with the Patriots. Was he on the roster?
He's lost three.
Yeah, that's right, because they lost to the Eagles.
Yep.
Well, that's
So
something they have in common now.
here's the thing. Brady, and I said this once, they went in 01, 03, and 04, and then not again for 10 years.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't have 10 years a gap before he makes
I don't.
already showing enough. Um, it's so weird because what makes Patrick Mahomes good is different than what made Tom Brady good. Tom Brady was a great pocket passer. He was a
Right.
great dinker and dunker. Patrick Mahomes is completely reliant on his ability to make something happen when shit breaks down. He's not a pocket passer. He's not.
No.
So when you already see those starting skills starting to dwindle after 7 years, to think that he can go now a stretch of 10 years and
Yeah.
then another one, it's
Yeah. I
just a
hear.
really big
I hear you.
stretch.
I think let's see what happens this season before I really am able to say. I mean, I think he's still in the conversation as of right now. Um, if he has his worst season ever, let's say the Chiefs don't even make the AFC Championship this year. That would be his worst. That would be Mahomes' worst season since he's been in the league.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and to be fair
if
to Gobo, this season was his worst season in the league.
statistically it was, yeah.
And he still made it to the big dance. So,
They only lost the Super Bowl in one other game. Oh, they lost that stupid that game to the backups with
yeah.
Denver.
Yeah.
But
So,
yeah, I mean, I think that we see this year what happens. I think Chris Jones is probably done, at least in the capacity that he's been in. So that's their defensive all-star is going to be taking a step back. DeAndre Hopkins, I think, is probably done in Kansas City at least. So they got to replace him, and then yeah, if they got to replace Kelsey, I mean that's a whole different look. That's
and
a
for
whole different
some
team.
reason, Seattle's linked to being wanting to trade DK Metcalf. And I just saw a report that Kansas City's been inquiring about him. That would be an interesting.
I mean, if Metcalf wants another ring, I could see him maybe like making that move.
But I also
Just
think
because,
about, I think about, and I'm not at all trying to prop up Geno Smith, but he's a better pocket passer than Mahomes. He is. He just is, dude. Like
I
Mahomes is
mean,
gonna have to be running around and throw way down. I mean, it could work, but the thing that makes DK good is that he can burn it and get it like real fast. And I just don't know that those two
Yeah.
styles work.
I mean, it worked with Tyreek.
Tyreek, yeah, Tyreek was just another level.
Tyreek was also extremely fast,
Yeah,
like
another
just
level of fast.
unearthly fast.
But
Um, but yeah, the rest of the game, I mean, Saquon had kind of a modest performance. Jalen Hurts looked like a superstar.
he played really well.
He played his ass off. That offensive line for Philly looked great. Their defensive line had an amazing game. Because yeah, the Kansas City couldn't do anything. They could
No,
not move the
no, no,
ball.
no. And that's another thing. You had the best defense in the league playing against an offensive team that struggled all year. And
Right.
oh, big surprise, they struggled in the Super Bowl. But then you had Philly's offense has been yeah, pretty good.
Right. It's been
Just
somewhat
just
mediocre.
say, okay, fuck this.
Not in the playoffs though, man. I tell
Yeah.
you what, they were moving the ball on the in the playoffs. So they made it count when they needed to. So Philly's your Super Bowl champion. Um Kendrick Lamar called a Canadian dude a pedophile on international television, and we all enjoyed it. Um, I do love that he even brought his ex-girlfriend Serena Williams to dance on the stage with him.
Yes.
I mean, your move, Drake. I don't know how you. I mean, like, can you just admit that you lost this battle and move on with your life? Don't text famous 13-year-olds. I mean, it's pretty easy, bro. Like, I mean,
Yeah. First of all, don't know any 13-year-olds that are famous. Just start
well,
now.
that's the because
Start
it was Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things.
Yeah, but just start by not knowing them to begin with.
I was gonna say, yeah, like don't hang out with children.
Then you're fine.
I mean, that's where I was like, because I mean, like I've even like I've worked all these cons. I've actually had a chance to like meet and like interview all the Stranger Things kids, and I was like, I don't know what to say to them. I'll be like, oh yeah, you're 9 years old, and I fucking idolize you. Like, no, dude, that's a child, man. Like they're
What are you
playing
doing after
child
the show?
character.
Oh, no, 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 no. We can't get
I'm
drinks after the show.
yeah, I'm not gonna like. That's what I usually do. I'll be like, hey, you need drink, you need smoke, like. You want to like murder somebody together? Like, yeah, like that's, I'm not gonna go to fucking like Lucas and be like, hey, do you have your coat? You got your shoe? Let me tie your shoes up. All right, let's get some blow.
Here's some gum.
Yeah, right? Hold hands in the parking lot, please.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, no, we're not, I'm not, yeah. Don't fucking hang out with children, Drake. It's not that difficult. Um, Kendrick, I think, is really the biggest champion of the Super Bowl. I have never seen somebody beat a competitor that badly at anything ever in my life.
Yeah. I mean, the ass whooping at halftime was the second ass whooping that was taking place.
I mean, yeah, I was like, yeah, Drake is the Chiefs right now.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I like the meme where it was like when Kendrick says, "Say Drake," and it's like Drake right now, and it's Beyonce at the Grammys, and she's like,
Oh man.
anyways, but it was a good Super Bowl. I actually genuinely enjoyed it. Which I haven't really enjoyed a Super Bowl like that in several years, especially it, like not having my team compete in it. But I had a good time with this, man. I like the Eagles, man. They're scrappy. I love Saquon, and they beat the shit out of. I mean, and also like if you watch the show long enough, you kind of know my political leanings, and I love that when they ask the quarterbacks about the president being in on site for the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes is like, well, Piggy, I have to, I'm proud that I get to play in front of the highest member of state. Oh, yay! He's Kermit. Um, and then Jalen Hurts is like, I don't give a shit who's in the audience. I'm here to play a game. Like he can watch if he wants to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know who I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
That and Chris Jones, like like stopped the warm up to push through all the Secret Service guys to shake the president's hand, and then immediately got hurt. I'm like, that's poetic justice, bro. Like,
Yep.
here's the thing, man. I know it's cool to like meet a president and like you earned that and whatever. Bro, meet a different one. Like, yeah,
Right.
there's meet a different president,
Do it on
bro.
your own time. The football gods aren't having it.
I was gonna say, man, if there is a God, you don't like that fucking guy. Um, just being honest. Um, anyways, so good Super Bowl. Good Super Bowl. I'm excited. Draft is coming up. There's lots of speculation, a lot of really good players in this draft. I'm excited to see what happens.
Dude, it'll be very interesting. And I believe that we are going to do a live show during the draft, whether we post it live or we just record it live while the draft is happening and hang out with each other.
Yeah.
It will be recorded live, and it will be the first touchstone with the new information for season four. We got a couple irons in the fire about some new
Yeah,
cast castmates.
got a lot of fingers and a lot of pies.
So yeah,
Um, anyways. Well, yeah, it's a good season. Um, Still love this game. They managed to not ruin it for one more season at least. So here we go. You know, what do the Packers look like next season? Do we finally pick up that marquee receiver we've been missing? We got our running back now. Like, let's finish off what we need for our offense. Does Geno Smith flush himself out as the quarterback of the future? Or does Seattle make a move in free agency with their new coach?
it's Gino. He'll be there again.
I think it's going to be
You know,
Geno too.
I'm 100% okay with it as long as you spend your draft picks on offensive linemen. That, that's
Offensive linemen.
that's
Ask the
what we,
Lions how they feel about Vita Vea, and yeah, like you'll know how valuable those fucking guys are.
it's what we need. And honestly, at 18, pick 18, you can get a good one.
There's at least I think there's at least five. I think there's at least five linemen in this draft that could go in the first round.
Let's take one. Let's take the best available at 18. So,
Yeah,
yeah. All right. Well, let's
there
put a
you
bow
go.
on season three.
Put it go, but
And
anyways,
I'll just say this. Oh, my closing comment on season three is fuck Kanye.
I mean, yeah, fuck Kanye.